5:30. It's 5:30. I'm going to call the Cascade Speakeasy meeting to order and immediately pass it to our Sergeant at Arms to lead us in the pledge of allegiance.
Please rise and repeat after me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated. I just have to say, this is the one thing that we say in our club every week where there's a sentence that begins with the word and it's okay.
All right, so I'm happy to introduce our Toastmaster of the evening, Brian Gray.
Yay, Brian.
Good evening, Toastmasters. Welcome to Monday night, October 4th. I do not have a joke or anything like that personally. Does anyone have a joke? Please, Selena.
Selena.
Take it away, Selena.
This is my joke for the day. And once again, as always, it is a response joke. Please help me by responding with the name that we refer to as the jail for rainbows.
Jail for rainbows.
If we were to send a rainbow to jail, what would we call it?
A rainmaker.
A prism. It is a light sentence.
Oh. That's a good one.
Yes.
Selena, that mentioned that.
That's another joke.
Great. Guests.
Not tonight.
All right, no guests. It's now my privilege to introduce the General Evaluator, Vicki Chatterton.
Thank you very much. I have a wonderful team who is going to help me evaluate the meeting. And first up is our evaluator for our speaker who is doing her icebreaker. Selena, will you tell us what you'll be doing this evening?
Yeah.
I would be happy to tell you what I will be doing this evening as evaluating fabulous speech. It is her icebreaker speech. Its length is 4 to 6 minutes. This is her first speech for us, and we are very excited to hear it. I will be looking at a variety of evaluation topics for Fabiola's speech, what she excelled at, what she needs to work on, and how she might be able to challenge herself. 4 to 6 minutes. The title is How I Start My Morning. I'm sure it's much more exciting than how I start mine. Back to you.
Thank you. And our timer this evening will be Barbara. Barbara, will you tell us what you'll be doing?
Yes, I would be happy to. Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. As timer, I will time the table topics speakers, the formal speeches, and the evaluations. I will also alert each speaker of the time they have left using the green, yellow, and red cards. So for Fabiola tonight, your speech is between 4 to 6 minutes in length. At 4 minutes, I will show you the green card. At 5 minutes, I will show you the yellow card. And at 6 minutes, I will show you the red card. For table topics, you don't want them to be more than 2 minutes. So at 1 minute, I will raise the green card. At 1 minute 30, I will raise the yellow card. And at 2 minutes, I will raise the red card. I believe those are our only speeches tonight, or excuse me, our individual evaluations should be between 2 to 3 minutes. So Christina, at 2 minutes, I will raise the green card. At 2 minutes and 30 seconds, I will raise the yellow card. And at 3 minutes, I will raise the red card. Back to you, John. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Our grammarian this evening is Christina. Christina, will you tell us what you will be doing?
No, it'll look done.
It'll find you.
Okay, thank you, Madam General Evaluator. Tonight I will be listening for excellent use of grammar as well as maybe some not so excellent use of grammar. We'll see how that goes. I also get to choose the word of the day. The word of the day is cousin, spelled pronounced just like someone you are related to. It means to deceive, win over, or influence with pleasing words or actions or trickery. Used in a sentence, the sweet little lady at the Humane Society cousined me into taking home a kitty. I'll put it right there for our speakers to use. I'll share my thoughts when called upon to do so. Thank you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you so much. And our odd counter this evening is going to be Pat. Pat, will you tell us what you'll be doing this evening?
Well, my job is to look for all those little hiccups that intrude upon the flow of language. But like, I mean, you know, and repetitions. But hopefully I won't make a single mark upon this page because you all will be so fluent. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And after my team gives their report, I will give a report on the meeting as a whole. And at this time, I will be passing it back over to our Toastmaster this evening, Brian.
Thank you. And as Selena mentioned, I'd like to introduce Fabiola. She is going to do a speech on how do you start your mornings, 4 to 6 minutes. Welcome, Fabiola.
Yay, Fabiola. Yeah, just that.
Yes.
Thank you for this opportunity to present this evening. How do you start your mornings? Do you start your weekdays by reading the morning paper, checking your email after work, or simply enjoying a nice cup of coffee as you watch the sunrise? These are practical methods of beginning your day. However, I have a different morning ritual that may sound a bit crazy to some individuals. Monday through Saturday, my mornings begin with the buzzing of my alarm at 4:15. I immediately, my first instinct is to push that snooze button and take advantage of another 9 minutes of sleep. However, my mind begins to race as I orientate myself as to what day of the week it is, because this will determine what my activity will be. Hopefully, the evening before, I planned, I packed my gear, and I prepared my attire for today's adventure. I have two best friends, Maria and Teresa. They are just as adventurous as myself, and every morning we gather at 5 a.m. for a morning quest. Seconds before the second buzzing sound, I scroll through my text to confirm the location of my destination. Will it be Saddle Rock, Jacobson, Castle Rock, Beautify, a local park, or perhaps the Works? Buzz, 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 and I'm out of bed. I brush my teeth, I get dressed. I put on my MyZone tracker, grab my gear, my vitamins, and I dash out the door. As I drive to my day's destination, I text the girls on my way through my iWatch, because I'm a safe driver. During my commute, I take my vitamins with either a chocolate milk or a liquid yogurt. And I begin feeling vibrations on my iWatch. As my friends begin to text me, they are also on their way of our destination. As I reach my destination, I jump out of my car, grab my gear. What is today's activity? Is it hiking, biking, hot yoga, plunging, or a gym workout? Whatever the activity may be, within minutes, I feel my heart racing. I feel sweat drenching down my face, the desire to start to remove layers of clothing, and the need to gulp water. The next 60 to 90 minutes are intense,
as my body produces endorphins, dopamine, norepinephrine, and serotonin. As the adventure begins to end, we immediately begin to plan, what is tomorrow's adventure going to bring us? The last 10 days of our adventures with Maria and Teresa have prepared us for half marathons and vigorous 20-mile hiking trails. Beginning my day outdoors before the world wakes up and the sounds of traffic, sirens, and chaos is serenity. Hiking at over 7,000 feet in elevation is scary, but also magical. Biking at fast speeds of over 20 miles per hour is intense, and holding a yoga pose in 105-degree temperature is invigorating. My morning rituals may seem crazy, but others may relate fully understand the intoxication. These adventures have kept me grounded in challenging times, such as balancing full-time job with family and graduate school, the passing of my 101-year-old grandmother, and our times right now with COVID. Whether your morning routines begin at 4 a.m. or 10 a.m., make sure that they challenge you, that they bring you peace, and that they also bring a smile to your face. Too bad you can't see my smile. How will you begin your morning tomorrow?
Fantastic.
Barbara, are you gonna do 1 minute for everyone to make notes?
Yes, I will. Reset starts. 1 minute. Thank you for the reminder. One minute.
Brian, you're Toastmaster, correct?
Yes, just a little slow. Thank you, Toastmasters, for completing the evaluations. And now it is time for table topics. And tonight's table topic master is Eric Stepp.
Toastmasters. All right, my intrepid friends. Don't forget the word of the day, pleasant. Who wants a hard one?
He had a hard day, but he wants a hard question.
Why do they say a cat has 9 lives? And if you don't know, make something up.
Good evening, Toastmasters. I will definitely have to make something up. The only thing that comes to mind is watching cats try to cross traffic. And they go back and forth and seem to make it underneath tires and wheels and come out okay. I believe they do it many more times than 9 in their lives. Beyond that, I have not seen cats be much more of a risk taker than that. I have nothing more to say about cats. That was a difficult question. I still have time on the clock though, and to be productive. If I'm not mistaken, I have Lloyd for all 3 days of the evaluations for the fire department, with Eric and Christina on 2 of those days, and Pat as a backup. And on the 3rd day, I have Lloyd again and Pat and Rob as evaluators, correct?
That's the point.
I will get the time frames out. I know you had time constraints. We'll start at plenty of lead time, and they're 20 minutes. They have 20 minutes per presentation with 10 minutes to evaluate them. And we'll move along. Thank you.
You bet.
Good job. You got rest, but you stepped right into it. Really, raised your hand, and I applaud you for
Learned my lesson. I won't raise my hand.
that. Maybe not with me up here. What are your favorite animals at the zoo? What are your favorite animals at the zoo? Christina? I didn't know this one.
Something tells me it's so at the zoo. Favorite animals at the zoo? When was the last time I was at the zoo? We went to the zoo in San Diego. It's amazing. If you've never been to that zoo, it is worth the trip. The monkeys are hilarious. I would have to say that's probably my favorite. They seem to cousin one another into all kinds of activities by pulling on each other's tails or just reaching out and going, eat. It's like watching little kids, like having little kids. Reminds me of when my kids were little. Just acting like a bunch of monkeys here. Next to that, especially at the zoo in San Diego, the tiger was simply amazing. It was in an enclosed case, but one end was glass. When we were there, it came right up to the glass, walked right up and around in a circle. Amazing, amazing to get to see that. Great place to go. We're in San Diego, go to the zoo. Thank you, Mr. Tabletop.
Tell us about a time that you lived out the expression herding cats. Tell us the time that you lived out, you laughed too much. Tell us the time you lived out the expression herding cats. Wrong.
That's a very interesting question. However, I would like to share with you why it's so easy for my wife to be cousined into taking in animals. Every one of our animals was saved from a prior experience. Skip, our bird, was about to go back to the pet store. And we told our neighbors, my cousin, that no, we will take the bird. So Skip now lives with us. He is a very loud bird. He spends a lot of time behind a shroud so that we can think and watch TV. We have 2 cats. There are also 2 cats that we got from the Humane Society. We were told not to get cats from the same litter. So Seamus is from one litter and Bella is from another litter. Seamus is the small cat. He's the younger cat. Bella is the older cat. And Seamus pretty much picks on Bella, even though she's twice as big as Seamus. We also have a dog. Rowan is her name. She's an 85-pound husky lab mix with what we believe to be a little wolf in her as well. Loves people, doesn't like other animals, but she loves her pet cats, so everyone gets along. Did that answer your question, Mr. Tabletop Inspector?
If you could have any pet you wanted, what would it be? If you could have any pet you wanted, what would it be, Barbara?
Thank you, tabletop master. If I could have any pet in the world,
Yep.
what would I want? Well, I would want a healthy animal. I currently have 3 dogs, and one is a 3-year-old, 110-pound German Shepherd who has congestive heart failure. I have a border collie with brain cancer, and I have another border collie with a very large tumor. So, knowing that all of these animals will leave this world very soon, I hope that my future would hold very healthy animals and long-lived animals. I am also a rescuer. I do rescues for the Pacific Northwest Border Collie. So as we get dogs in, there are people like me who take the sick or the ones with problems. I'm a sucker for a dog with a medical condition. Again, I hope that in my future, I will stop doing that and just get a healthy dog. Thank you.
Thank you. Tell us about a time you lived out the expression herding cats. Vicky.
Yay! Thank you, Vicky.
Can you repeat the question, Eric? You kind of came lower in at the end of the question.
Tell us about a time that you lived out the expression herding cats.
Okay, the expression herding cats. Oh, it seems like I am always doing that. But lately what has happened, we were talking about this book that I'm collaborating with, and we have 30 women authors, and we're very excited. However, with everybody's busy schedules, trying to get them deadlines met has been like herding cats. We have pictures and bios and chapters that all needed to get put together so that we could get it to our illustrator and then to the press to get done. And oh my goodness, it seems like we're still getting last minute things of, oh, can we change this? Oh, I forgot to do this. Let me tell you, when you have 30 ambitious women who are doing all sorts of things, I do refer to it as herding cats because we are all over the place doing our own thing. And if you want to get us all in one place at all one time, you just have to schedule it a year in advance. So that has been my most recent time of herding cats. Back to you, Mr. Tabletop Master.
Good job.
Good job.
Did you have pets growing up? Why or why not? Did you have pets growing up? Why or why not, Pat?
I did not have pets growing up, I'm sad to say. I tried once. I went with my girlfriend's family out to a flower place, and they had kittens. And I fell in love with one, and I brought it home. It was cute. My parents didn't object too strenuously until the kitty rolled over and had a belly full of fleas. and I had to take the kitty back. But I have more than atoned for that, because ever since probably 40 years ago, I've always had a dog. I bought a dog when my daughter was a toddler, and after my first husband and I had separated, and I got a little miniature poodle, ostensibly for Kathy, but actually for me. Where I really have fallen in love with pets is with Scotties. I've had Scottish Terriers for the last 30 years. They are the most wonderful breed. They are so bossy. They are, if we were painting the floorboard, that little dog would have his little nose following all along. My last one died at the age of 16, 5 years ago. I became aware of a little girl who was a mix, and I decided I didn't need to be so snooty and have a purebred. So Chloe now lives with me. Chloe is 50% Scottish Terrier and 50% miniature poodle, because I had her DNA done. I'm sure any of the crazy stuff she does comes from the poodle side, because no self-respecting Scotty would ever act that way. So I've atoned for my childhood deprivation.
I'm glad you got the chance to talk. All right, everybody's had a chance. Each of you guys have known your rules. Do you want to give it a chance, or you want to? You do? Want a while then? What is your favorite Halloween costume of all time that you wore?
Thank you for that question, Mr. Table Topics Master. My favorite Halloween costume of all time that I wore was a costume that I came up with all by myself. It was recent. As most of you know, I work for a public transportation company, Link Transit. Every year, we enter an entry in the downtown trick or treat event that attracts thousands of children. Laura and I, both of us are marketing folk, decided we needed to have something festive to wear to the occasion that still illustrated who we were. So we had a special t-shirt made that says, "The bus stop's here." We made a headband, one of those little red bus stops on it. And then on the back of it, said there was a roundabout symbol that says, "Taking you round and about since 1991. So when you see me on the street, you know the bus stops here. Thank you.
We didn't plan on that beforehand in summer, you didn't. One easy one? Are you a cat or a dog lover, and why or why not?
A cat or a dog lover?
Yes.
I might make some enemies this evening because I am not a cat person. I have been terrified of cats ever since I was 4 or 5. Cats have terrified me. They always hiss at me and they scare me. And my son has been trying to convince me to get a cat ever since he was 4. And the conversation, even now, is no. I will say, though, about 4 years ago, my daughter moved to Albuquerque, New Mexico, and she knew I wanted to come visit her. And one of her neighbors enrolled in the service and gave her his cat. And so she started prepping me. "Mom, if you're coming, I have a cat. His name is Nigel." "Mom, I have a cat. His name is Nigel. Don't kick him. Be nice to him." Okay. In October, it was her birthday, and she was really homesick. She hadn't seen her family for about 6 months. And so I spoke to her husband, and we made arrangements so that I could take the red eye and fly to Albuquerque. And I arrived in the middle of the night, and I slept on the couch. In the morning, guess who woke up on top of my back. Nigel. Nigel is a blue Russian, gorgeous cat. And the 4 days that I was there, Nigel slept on my back. And I actually loved Nigel. So even though I'm not a cat person, because I've owned 3 dogs, I will say that if Nigel comes back to me, it's okay. I will accept Nigel.
Good job.
We're still friends.
I have a son and daughter-in-law who have 2 cats. And I, pay attention to the animals, I don't cut them, I don't kick them. I fell asleep on the couch on my back. And I woke up to this cat laying on me, and my daughter-in-law took all kinds of pictures. Put it out all over face plant and everywhere else. I was a hero for that. Anybody else want one? We got lots of time. You want another? Okay, let's see what we can go from weird to bizarre. Here's one. If a dog is therapy to you, but it's not trained, should it still be let on a plane?
Thank you, Mr. Tabletop Topics Master, for that question. If the dog is therapy to me, but it's not trained, should it be let on a plane? I personally do not have experience with therapy dogs. However, I do have experience with a therapy parrot. So I'm going to take you back 50 years. When I was 2, my dad decided that I needed to have a parrot. The parrot wasn't really a therapy parrot for me, it was for my father. He really wanted this cute little green parrot to take home to our house in the woods in the coastal region of Oregon. The parrot was scary. I was afraid of that parrot. When we had pet sitters come to take care of that parrot, they would literally just take seeds and just throw them at his perch because he was mean. He tore up all the records in the house. And then one day, on this farm, we grew some things that maybe we shouldn't have been growing. Parrot was always hanging around, just sort of listening to conversation. And the police decided to come visit us. I took some of that harvest and sampled it and decided that it wasn't quite legal. And they subpoenaed the parrot. And even though that parrot was not technically a therapy animal, it was allowed in the courtroom. But guess what? He didn't talk. I don't think that parrot would be a good therapy parrot to have on an airplane, but it did make the local newspaper. Sitting on, perched on my father's shoulder in the Polk County Courthouse.
Oh my God.
And he was asked to return at a later date in hopes that maybe he would speak there. Thank you.
You're so good, I don't know whether to believe you or not.
I'd be willing to do that.
You want another?
Sure.
All right.
I'm happy.
Really, look at you guys. Okay, there's going to be some repeats.
She wants the herding cat.
You do? Why? Tell us about a time, Pat, when you lived out the expression, herding cats.
That really resonated with me. It has to do with experiences at both ends of my career in education. If anybody who has ever taught 6th graders, that is herding cats. They come in September, like sweet little 5th graders, and they're fine until Christmas break. They go home, and when they come back, their hormones have started surging. It's really challenging to be a 6th grade teacher. Moving fast forward many years, when I was a dean, and I was in higher ed administration, having faculty meetings with certain faculty members who think they have PhDs in universal knowledge is definitely herding cats. Getting those kind of individuals to shut up and not dominate the conversation is really quite challenging. It tries one's patience. And of course, because it's in higher ed, you have to behave with a certain degree of decorum. So you have to look into your repertoire of cousin in order, in order to encourage them to be productive members of the group, rather than just blooding out all over the place the infinite knowledge they have about nothing that you're talking about. So sixth graders and college faculty who think they have PhDs in universal knowledge, herding cats, that's it.
Good job. I'm glad I didn't deny you. There has got to be a lot of people watching these cat videos on YouTube. They're all over the place and they're very popular. Don't lie. Do you watch those cat videos? If you don't, what takes up your social media time? Barbara. Barbara, yeah.
Thank you for that great question, Table Topics Master. I have, in fact, taken up a lot of precious time watching cat videos on Facebook. I have a granddaughter who's 6, and she loves to laugh along with me as we watch these funny videos. And they are funny. They're very funny. If you haven't done it, I encourage you to do so. You might be able to answer these questions about the 9 lives. Because you will realize when a cat jumps onto a rotating fan and they survive, you realize they must have 9 lives because you laughed. And partly you think, I really hope the cat didn't get hurt. My granddaughter and I thought it was very funny. So that sums up my YouTube experience watching cat videos. Thank you, Table Topics Master.
Okay, that's enough frivolity. I'm going to turn it back over to our postmaster.
Rolling. I was gonna tell you a story about sugar gliders.
You're the postmaster. We have to have a
Next
postmaster.
time.
What is it?
Have you heard of a sugar glider before?
No.
It's a real animal. They're adorable.
Oh.
The reason I heard of sugar gliders is the Phoenix Fire Department made national news over this rescue. You can go, as a firefighter, you can go rescue people from houses, and it may or may not make the news. But if you rescue an animal, you're making national news. This one was epic. The Phoenix Fire Department showed up. The homeowner advised there's animals in the house. They went in, brought out this cage, and in the cage was a sugar glider. And there were other cages of animals as well. Well, the sugar glider was deceased. The Phoenix firefighter did CPR on the sugar glider. The sugar glider came back to life, and he set the cage down with the animals and went to resume work. When he came, and the helicopter news media is overhead. When he came back, while he went to go to work, the homeowner advised him which one of the sugar glider was pregnant amongst the other animals. When they came back by, lo and behold, in the cage where he had just revived the sugar glider was a baby sugar glider.
Oh my gosh.
So it made national news that the firefighters rescued, revived a sugar glider, and then it conceived its baby. So it made such a great media splash that once they heard the rest of the story, they never clarified it. The occupant of the home just relocated the baby sugar glider into the sugar glider's cage, so it didn't really have immaculate, you know, but delivery. You'll have to Google a picture of a sugar glider. They are adorable. And now I will turn it over over to our general evaluator, Vicki Chatterton.
Hey, Vicki.
Thank you very much, Brian. And the nice thing about technology is I can show you all what a sugar glider looks like right now.
Oh.
So it is a cute little animal. That is very cool. All right, back to our meeting. First up, I am going to call on our evaluator of Fabiola's speech, Selena.
Oh, fabulous, that was excellent. So excellent. It was hard to find things to work on, but first I will start with all of the very great things that you excel at. Your detail was excellent. Biking at 20 miles per hour around the loop trail at 5 o'clock in the morning, or somewhere you found a place to go 20 miles per hour, 7,000 feet before breakfast. Inspiring. You might cousin me into getting up early so I can achieve such feats of physical excellence. Your eye contact was excellent. You have beautiful eyes, by the way. I just want to look at them. Great use of hands. Buzz, buzz, buzz. Excellent. I could learn from you. You brought us into your morning world. We all have our morning routines. Mine don't start as early as yours usually, but we all have them. You may cousin me into a less relaxing way to start my day. You also did your homework. You knew those words like epinephrine and norepinephrine, and you knew what those words meant and what those different things did with your body. It was obvious that you had done a lot of research on those chemical workings in your brain. What you could work on, this is something I share with you, ditch the notes, because when you're not wearing those glasses, we can see your eyes and they're beautiful. As another evaluator would like to say, the notes are like a furry little animal that you just want to have right there. With sweet whispers of perfect diction, right? All of those perfect words that you wrote out in your speech, you want to have them right in front of you. I know this because I do this too, that you can do it. To challenge yourself, perhaps, and I thought really your pacing was excellent, but perhaps I get nervous when I'm in front of people and I'm speaking, and when I get nervous, I tend to speed up. Most of the time, the pacing was wonderful. There were just a couple of places where I noticed the nerves were making you speed through your words. I hope that you keep doing speeches because you're so good at them. I'm not sure how you did on the timing, because I was spending so much time paying attention to your words that I missed that part. But you did inspire me to look for a 7,000 foot morning. Thank you, Fabiola. Excellent speech. Well done.
Thank you. And next up, to give our timers report, we will have Barbara.
Hey, Barbara.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Fabiola, you did wonderful tonight. I also really appreciated your speech. You did not cousin me to get up at 4:15 a.m. I do get up at 5, but I have to give lots of medications out. So Fabiola, you did amazing on your time. You had 4 minutes and 15 seconds for your speech. It was perfect. Table topics, Brett, you had 1 minute and 20 seconds and did not time your second speech. I apologize. But it was really interesting. I'm still thinking, how would you give CPR to an animal that small? So yes, it should be world news. Christina, 1 minute and 35 seconds. Rob, 1 minute and 40 seconds. By the way, we all did wonderfully tonight. Myself, 1 minute and 20 seconds. My second one, 1 minute and 6 seconds. Vicki, 1 minute and 8 seconds. Pat, you did beautifully. 1 minute and 57 seconds and 1 minute and 44 seconds. Selena, 1 minute and 11 seconds. And your second one was 2 minutes and 6 seconds. Which is perfect. And Fabiola, on your table topics, 1 minute and 51 seconds. Really done. Selena, on your evaluation was 2 minutes and 42 seconds. Great evening for timing. Back to you, John.
Thank you very much. And now for our grammarians report, Christina.
Thank you, everyone. Word of the day, good job. Rob used it once, Barbara used it once, Pat used it once, Selena used it twice. Used it once. Nice job. There were some great expressions tonight. Fabiola, your descriptions of your morning routine from the time the alarm goes off clear till the end, very great graphic visuals that we could easily see in our minds, your activities, one of which was hot yoga, which I quickly decided not to see. Not my thing. Rob, I loved Rowan loves her cats. Talking about his dog. Eric faceplant. Pat ostensibly resonated. Self-respecting Scotty, no self-respecting Scotty. And PhDs in universal knowledge. Having worked at the college, I can relate to some of those people. Those were fun meetings. They stretch you. That is it for my report. Thank you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you very much. And next up is our counter, Pat.
First of all, Eric was absolutely pristinely clean. Didn't have any of those. The word that was most introduced to disrupt the flow was and I'll tell you who said what when. Christina also, clear. Brian had 2 ands, 1 so and 1 but. Rob had 1 and. Fabiola had 2 ums, 6 ands, but she's the champion ander. Selena had 3 ands. Barbara had 2 ums, 1 and, 1 so. And Vicky had 1 but. So really, that wasn't a whole lot. The flow was there. Congratulations, everybody.
Wonderful.
Thank you very much. For my evaluation meeting as a whole, all roles were filled. We had a speech evaluators. Those that their position was eliminated, they jumped in to fill in for a role. I appreciate that. And with Eric, he just went with it and realized we still had more time, so offered us to be able to have some more table topics, which was great because I still think we're going to end early. So just one of those things of tonight seems to be running quite quickly. Just now on a technical side of things, most all of the speakers were from their mask down on the camera. And I'm not sure why, because I did see it move up when Barbara was setting it up and it caught her full face. So I'm going to do some research into the owl and how it picks up things so that we can figure out where the best placement is. But sound is better now that you guys are closer to the mic. For the most part, I can hear it. And it's very interesting because if you look now, you'll see that the main camera moved to Brian and he's really not even saying anything, but it moved to him. So I'm not quite sure how this projection works. But if we're going to continue to have hybrid meetings, because I do believe we still have members who are either out of the country that will be Zooming in or up north when the weather gets bad and want to Zoom in, I still think that we should do them. But I'm gonna hopefully next week be in person so I can see how the owl works in person. But that's just a technical thing. I think we're doing a great job at being a hybrid meeting. I'm glad that you guys are meeting in person and I look forward to seeing you all in person as well. Back to you. our Toastmaster. There we go. Is that who I sent it to? Oh, Barbara. I sent it to Barbara. Okay, down to you, Barbara.
Thank you, General. You got it. Perfect. And I'm going to just thank the participants and call for any comments. Please.
Is that your evaluation?
Yeah.
That was excellent.
That was.
Very good.
It was.
Fabulous.
And I also wanted to shout out to Brian, because I was gonna jump in and do the timing, you were already doing it. And grab the on counter sheet too, when they were coming up with their budget, so kudos for that.
Yeah,
Good
way to
job.
go, Brian.
That's my comment.
And Vice President, do we have any?
I don't have any comments. However, I guess for those who are here tonight, if you are planning on a speech, I don't think we have one currently planned for next week. If you're inclined to do a speech, please let me know.
Well, I am certainly inspired to do my first, so. Thank you.
Yeah. I have no other comments, Madam
Thank you.
President.
Well, thank you, everybody, for joining us at NCW Library's district office in this beautiful room. And I'm going to call the meeting to, what is the word?
Adjourn.
Adjourn, thank you, at 6:25.
Perfect.
Okay, thank you.